In today's episode, uh, let's talk about trustworthiness scores. So, Facebook made the news again this week for the Washington Post reporting that it was building or had built trustworthiness scores of its users. In the article, which is linked in the show notes, Facebook scores users on false reporting of fake news on a scale of 0 to 1. So, what do we know about this? What's interesting about this? Well, the first clue is that the scale of 0 to 1 is a major hint that this is all around probability calculation. It is likely to be tied to either just flat out error rate or p values, which is a statistical expression of the likelihood of error. The way it was explained in the article, Facebook said that they are using these scores in order to determine how trustworthy a user is within the context of reporting fake news. And apparently, what happens, and this is no surprise, um, for things that are politics, people were reporting things as fake that were actually true articles. Um, and when you report something as fake, a certain percentage of articles goes to humans to essentially check out and make sure, is this actually a fake article or not? There's a room full of people somewhere checking Snopes. Which in turn means that the more false reports there are of fake news, the more they have to increase staffing and things like that, and the more expensive it gets. So Facebook has instead created an algorithm that judges how trustworthy your reports are of fake news. Now, for those who don't remember, this is a statistical thing. Um, Facebook is essentially trying to reduce type 1 errors, right? So um, if you never took a statistics course, there are two major types of errors in hypothesis testing. Type 1 error is saying something is true when it's false. Type 2 error is saying something is false when it's true. So the one of the best ways to explain this is the boy who cried wolf. The story, the kid who cries wolf, and the villagers run and check out, and of course there isn't. That's a type 1 error. When the boy who cries wolf is a type 1 error. Now, what happens in the story later on is the type 1 error becomes a type 2 error. The boy cries wolf. Nobody believes him. They believe it's false, but there actually is a wolf and everybody dies. And so these are the two types of errors that you can make in statistical testing. So Facebook isn't concerned is less concerned about people saying something is true, but it's really false, because that is implicit in our behavior. If nobody flags a story as false, then by default it must be true. So what they're trying to reduce is the number of people who say this story is fake news, but in reality it is accurate. But it may go against your political inclinations. You may have a bias. You read a story about a Democrat and you're a Republican, and you're like, oh, that's just fake. That's fake news. Or vice versa. You're a Democrat and you're reading a story about a Republican. That's clearly fake. Anything this person says is fake. Well, as people who care about data and the integrity of data, you and I can't make that mistake. We can't do that. We do have to apply judgment and accept, even if we don't like opposing viewpoints, particularly when it gets to politics. So, what's got people concerned about this is, they're thinking Black Mirror style scenarios where there's a score that rates you on every aspect of your life. There already is. We have these scores. We've had these scores for decades. If you've ever bought anything on credit, guess what? You have a credit score. A credit score is your trustworthiness score in the realm of finance. And we're, as a society, okay with one of three companies telling us essentially whether someone should do business with us. There are the same style of scores for businesses. You can absolutely bet there are 1.5 million different scores when it comes to things like apps like Tinder. Um, whether or not you know about them is the question, but those scores exist. For anybody who works in marketing, we are scoring people all the time. When you go into your CRM or you go into your marketing automation software, you have the opportunity to decide what things should earn someone more points in the marketing automation software to qualify them further as a lead. So these scores exist everywhere. Now, what's different about this is that we don't have a good understanding of what goes in the score. Frankly, we don't have a good understanding of what goes into most of these scores. And that's really the heart of it. And it's a kind of an uncomfortable paradox, because for people who are malicious, if you know the algorithm, you can game the algorithm. You can figure out how to beat the algorithm. So a company who wants the algorithm to work correctly has to disguise or hide the internal workings. Vice versa, we are also pushing as a society for more transparency, especially from tech companies whose devices literally are ruling our lives, because we let them. And so Facebook just could have done a better job of, I feel, it could have done a better job of explaining, look, we are specifically targeting people who report things as fake when it's true. Stop doing that, and you'll have a perfect trustworthy score. And if you want to view your trustworthy score, cool. Here's the number of articles that you rated as fake, which are in fact true. And maybe there would even be benefit in saying, yep, this one here that you regarded as fake actually is true. That might do some good in helping break people's biases. It won't do much good, but it could do a little bit of good if someone's curious about their trustworthiness score. To say, yes, you reported this as fake, it's true, you have a bias of your own. If you fix that bias, your trustworthiness score will go up. So there's a potential for positive impact from this. But in general, what's going on here is no more malicious or scary than the dozens of other scores that are ruling our lives all day, every day. Your insurance company has a score about you. Your credit card company has a score about you. Your mortgage has a score about you. Your dating apps have scores about you. If you do business with another business, there's a score about you in the marketing automation software. And if you are setting up marketing automation software and you're assigning points to leads, you might want to think about that algorithm. Think about how do you decide what constitutes a good lead or a bad lead, because you are scoring people. You are applying a scoring algorithm to people. So give some thought to, well, is this something that makes a lot of sense? Are the defaults that come out of the system good ones? I would guarantee at least half of the people who use marketing automation software accept the defaults for scoring. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should go tune those and figure out, actually, this does not conform to how we think about generating business. So just some thoughts and feelings for you on this Friday. Don't worry too much about the scores, because in the grand scheme of things, your credit score controls far more of your life than your Facebook trustworthiness score. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.